Hey everyone, welcome back to Behind the Sirens SA. Another week, another episode. And today we are diving into something real. We all know that EMS is not just a job, it's a lifestyle. But what happens if that lifestyle turns into exhaustion? Or what happens if that lifestyle starts draining you? When the long hours, the stress, and the emotional weight becomes too much. That, my friend, is a burnout. And today we are talking about how to recognize it, deal with it, and most importantly, how to keep going whenever you are running on empty. What burnout looks like in EMS. Let's be honest, if you've worked in EMS long enough, believe me, you've been having burnout. And that feeling where your patients start turning into exhaustion, that is burnout. So how then do you know when you are truly burnt out? I want to give you a few signs that each and every practitioner can maybe relate to it, whether you are in EMS at this point or maybe you're not, you're just in the medical field. Here are some signs. Number one will be physical exhaustion, feeling drained even after a full night's sleep, having constant body pain and headache that doesn't go away. Number two, emotional numbness. You stop feeling connected to your patients, calls that used to move you, the calls that used to give you adrenaline rush, they feel just like another number. Number three, you have increased irritability, where you start feeling like you just want to shout at someone. You now snapping at the colleagues, you have short temper with patients. You also just feeling annoyed. Number four, loss of motivation. The excitement is gone, basically. You are clocking in and out without, feeling any sense of purpose as to why are you at work. Number five, compassion fatigue. Basically, that means you start feeling indifferent to people's pain, like you are running out of empathy. So those are the few signs that I can give you, and if any of these sound familiar, you are not alone. This happens to the best of us, and the question is, how then do we deal with it, which is taking us to the second segment. I would like to also talk about why is EMS burnout different, or basically why EMS burnout hits differently. Burnout in EMS is not like a burnout, of a 9-to-5 job. And here is why. The unpredictability, with us in EMS, you can't really plan your day. A shift can go from quiet to chaos in seconds, in a split of a second. Number two, the emotional weight. With us, you dealing with life and death situations, so that pressure adds up. Also, the long hours, your 12 hours, your 24 hours, your 36-hour shifts, your body never really gets time to fully recover before you get the next call. The lack of closure being the last point that I've noted. Unlike doctors, we don't always get to see if our patients really do survive or recover. So we basically, sometimes you leave your patient and you're curious if they're actually going to survive. And that adds to burnout, because you sometimes you don't get a chance to see how it ended, so that's lack of closure. So it is no wonder then why EMS has one of the highest burnout rates. But the good news is the ways to deal with it are there. So there are ways to fight it back, which is taking us to the next segment, which is then how then do we deal with the burnout and keep going. All right, so let's get into some real solutions now. So not the generic take a break advice, because people will be like, oh, go and leave, take a break, because let's be real, most of us, we don't have that luxury of taking long vacations. So what can we do then while we're still working, in order for us to be able to handle the burnout? Number one, I would say set boundaries. By setting boundaries is that I know it's not easy, it's easy for me to say now set boundaries, but even small boundaries like not checking work messages on your off days, that can help. Number two, find an outlet. By finding an outlet, it means whether you are hitting a gym, whether you are journaling, whether you're doing a podcast like me. Guys, no, I'm not burnt out. Just find something out of EMS that keeps you grounded. Like for me now, I have a permanent schedule for my podcast, and that's that. Also, number three, talk about it. Nothing beats talking, because burnout thrives in silence. If you're not sharing what is going through your mind, it will eat you up. Find colleagues that you trust and try to open up. Even if it's not colleagues, talk to your partner, talk to your family. Like, you'd be surprised how many people are out there and they are willing to listen. The other point is micro recoveries. If you cannot take long breaks, take small moments. By small moments is 5 minutes of deep breathing, a quick stretch, or even drinking water in between the calls. Take that break, so that can help you reset your body, because sometimes you get a hectic call and you know that emotionally you're not okay, but another call hits. Unfortunately, sometimes you don't have that luxury of saying, I'm not okay, I can't attend this call, because maybe you're an ECP like me and you're running the area basically. You are the backup for the whole area, for example. So the only time you have there is to take those small moments and try and take a break. Lastly, again, I've said this on my other episode, remember your why. Your why is very important. Go back to why you love EMS in the first place. That one patient who thanked you, that first save that you once had. Hold on to those moments. That will help you to make sure that you feel the love back. You feel the gratitude. You feel the difference that you're making. So in closing, I would just like to say burnout is real, but it doesn't have to end your career. And the key is to recognize it early and making small but consistent changes. So I think I was too serious on this episode, but at the end of the day, burnout is serious. And if this episode resonated with you, I want to hear your thoughts. Have you experienced burnout? And if you have, how do you deal with it? Or how did you deal with it? Please drop a comment for us and let's keep the conversation going. With that being said, thank you for always tuning in to Behind the Sirens SA. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your patients, but also stay safe and stay blessed.